Alright, I'll try to keep this video relatively short, but this is my start and end time trip planner. And it's pretty self-explanatory, at least I would hope so. This works well for some longer trips that you might have. It'll tell you whether or not the route is feasible. If it is outside of hours of service, it'll give you a little red error down here someplace. But let's put something in here just as an example. So we've got two different modes. We've got the get there quick or the even pace. So what get there quick will do is it will have you running, 11-hour shifts, maximizing your time, and any extra time that you might have had, will be spent at the end of the trip when you get to your destination. The even pace mode will try to take any extra time that you have and split it up so that you arrive exactly on time. So it'll kind of schedule you for some long 10-hour breaks and things like that. So let's look into this. Now I do need to make an adjustment here because it only has solid hour increments. I want to put some decimals or maybe make it something that you can enter. It'll have to be in a decimal point for my formulas, but like if you only had 10 hours and 45 minutes, I'd like for it to be able to represent 10.75. Trip start. Let's say, in this case, you can choose what time you're going to be hitting the road. Or if you're trying to calculate this for right now, you just check that box, that now button. So we'll pretend we're starting right now. What's your delivery appointment? Let's say we've got a few days to hit it at 11 a.m. All right, hold on. I got to course correct my dog here. Buffer time. So this is time, construction zones, traffic. You can select however much time you want to add to this plan for incidental events. So in this case, let's put 2 hours of extra time. For the sake of convenience, how many miles do we have to cover? I'm sure you've already put this into Google Maps or your Garmin or whatever the case may be. Let's say we're traveling 950 miles. The average moving speed, I have it set default to 55. And the reason for that is because that's pretty realistic. Now, I know, many people are out there driving trucks that are governed or maybe not, and you can manage to do the speed limit. That being said, you're still not averaging 75 miles an hour, truly. So you can change this to something realistic. Stay within the scope of realistic. Pre and post trip inspections. You can choose pre-trip only. You can do both, and that'll add that amount of time into your trip. If you do know that you're going to be doing a 34-hour reset, you can pick on the calendar what day you want to do that. And what it will do is it will swap the 10-hour break for that day for a 34-hour break. The operational buffer, this just adds a little bit of time to your 30-minute break. 30-minute break placement, you can kind of do it. Like, do I want to drive a full 8 hours and then take my 30? Do I want to, put it at kind of in the middle of my drive period so that I kind of split my drive time? That's what I like to use, is the midpoint. So, time zone. Let's say we're heading east and we know we're going to cross 2 time zones. That'll make an adjustment for our arrival time. Now, this one, I honestly, you got to be careful with this. You got to have a lot of available time to use it. But what it does is you can schedule your drive time within a certain set of hours. So let's say you only like to drive during the day, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. It will not schedule any of your work outside of those hours. Vice versa, you could put 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. or whatever the case may be. But the more restrictions you put on it, of course, the more likely it's not going to be able to calculate a route. So let's plan this out. And remember, I picked a random day. I picked a random number of miles. Here's our feasibility. It shows us how much time we have to get it done, how much driving we'll need. The target daily drive, easy. This is the even pace, remember? So 5 hours and 46 minutes a day. So what we're not going to see is any 30-minute breaks because we're only driving 5 hours and 46 minutes a day. So we're not crossing that 8-hour threshold. It's not going to schedule any 30-minute breaks. And here's how it does it. There's our pre-trip, 15 minutes. There's our driving, 5 hours and 46 minutes. there's our post trip, and then there's our 10-hour break. Now, because I gave us so much time to do these 950 miles, after that 10-hour break, that's the time to kill. 14 hours and 39 minutes, which, obviously unrealistic, but I was just throwing some numbers out there. Then it has us do the second day of driving. Same thing, extra time to kill. And on the third day of driving, it has us arriving 2 hours and it says 9 o'clock. But wait a minute. I thought our appointment was 11 o'clock. But remember the time zone change. So it has us arriving at 9 o'clock with our current local time, which as we head, through those time zones would be 11 o'clock. Now, this is, again, just a resource. Obviously, you want to do your own planning and everything else. But if we did the same route with the Get There Quick option and click Plan, it's going to show a 30-minute break because now it is having us push. So 5 hours and 30 minutes of driving, 5 hours and 30 minutes of driving. Guess what that is? That's a full 11-hour day. It added that 10 minutes to our 30-minute break and then has us driving the second day and then sitting and waiting once we get to our destination for 40 hours. So it takes all that time to kill and puts it at the end instead of in the middle of the trip. So that's the push, get there, then chill until appointment time. So it's still a work in progress, but it's coming along. I'm going to, make some adjustments. Like I do want to be able to put decimal points here as opposed to solid hour increments. But for now, it does seem to work pretty well. Buffer time, if you're going to be going through, a big city, Atlanta or Memphis or somewhere where you're going to get bumped, bogged down in traffic, you can add extra time there. So you can add, 3 hours or something like that. So, that's all up to you. Just be realistic with it. The reset button will clear it all and you can start over. And what we'll do next, the next video will be for the Legacy Planner. The Truck Stop Helper is still needing a little bit of work, but we'll cover those on the next video.